Good morning and welcome to today's vlog here from Fantasy Island, located in Ingoldmells, Skegness. It's great to be back here at what is one of my favourite amusement parks here in the United Kingdom. Quite a warm day today, got my shorts on. I'm looking forward to getting back on some absolutely awesome rides here at the park, including the Odyssey roller coaster, the big SLC that we can see just behind me. Along with that as well, the Millennium Coaster, one of the smoothest Vekoma roller coasters out there, and so much more. Along with that, I'm going to be talking about the various operational changes also here at Fantasy Island. Of course, normally you'd be able to walk into the site from pretty much anywhere around. That includes the amusement park and the large market that they've got here as well. However, due to COVID-19, they've had to restrict the numbers here. You have to book a ticket online to go into the actual amusement park itself. And along with that as well, if you want to go to the market, it seems like you've got a separate entrance and queue line for that. So I'm going to check it all out for if any of you are going to be coming down here over the summer to Fantasy Island. In terms of park hours today, from 11 o'clock through until 6 p.m. It's just gone 11 o'clock now. The rides have opened. That'll be one of the first trains of the day that's just gone round on the Odyssey. But I tell you what, it's great to see it open. Really nice weather. Like I say, got my shorts on. The sun should be coming out later on. So it's a really nice day to get back here to the park and get back on some rides as well. Normally we'll be able to film on ride here using our chest-mounted GoPro. I did contact the park. However, at the moment, due to everything going on with COVID-19 and all the extra restrictions and everything they've put into place, obviously the team here have got a lot to do in regards to that, so we couldn't actually get permission to film on the rides this time, but hopefully next time we come that'll be the case. We can get back on the rides with the GoPro. But we're going to check out all the different changes, get back on some different rides, and also as well there'll be some rides that I'll be able to take you on where we don't need to normally have the GoPro on, things like the magical Seaquarium, toucan tours, and some of the little bits as well. So welcome to today's vlog. Make our way now around to the entrance area where we'll head into Fantasy Island. So here's a little look then at the entrance procedure here at Fantasy Island. I imagine there's still got a couple of other entrances, but I'm going to be heading in through this one. So as you can see, there's people queuing up just here on the left hand side, which is for the ride entrance. And then if you go in just to the market, it's down on the right hand side there as well. So I'm going to go and get in the queue for the ride entrance, which is the one just there on the left hand side. Right then, so I'm inside Fantasy Island. Nice and easy there with the entrance procedures. Took less than 10 minutes, even though the queue was quite big around the corner. And we've got a member of staff who's just giving you some information about the park, saying that all the big rides are open today, that you need to wear face coverings on some of the attractions here, and just a bit of general information. Then made my way around the corner, had my temperature checked, again, nice and easy, and then straight through to the ticket booths, where I just showed my confirmation, and then they gave me a wristband. Also worth pointing out, you don't need to actually book it online in advance to come here. I thought that you did, but of course I definitely recommend booking online. It's easier for the park, they know that you come in, and in terms of limiting the numbers, you know, and it's also easier for you, isn't it, just having to bring your confirmation and you're all paid in advance. But you don't actually 100% need to if you don't want to. Say you wake up on a morning, you live close, and you think, oh, it's a nice sunny day, let's go down to Fantasy Island. As long as there's still room in the park for you, you can just pay to come in on the entrance, because people were doing that just. Along with that, I mentioned earlier on how it's now a closed off site. Normally that would mean you could walk around for free. At the moment you need to pay £5 even if you want to just come in and walk around. It's like a non-rider wristband really, if you like, that they're running here at Fantasy Island. Not a bad system really, because you've got to think they've got to limit the amount of people in here, but just paying £5 to walk around, similar to the likes of what Blackpool Pleasure Beach do all year round, isn't it really, when they're open, and they charge a fee just for people to walk around and feel the ambience of the park. So can understand why they've done that in terms of limiting the capacity here, but still offering something for people who don't actually want to have a wristband to go on the rides. But anyway, let's get on some rides. The sun's out, looks like we're in for quite a busy day here at Fantasy Island. Right then, so just started off my day with a ride on the Odyssey. It's the tallest Vekoma SLC in the world at 167 feet. Features 5 inversions, and I didn't wait long at all. In fact, it was straight into the station and I was on the train. I thought that it was going to be a longer wait actually at first, because I got up there to the station. I thought, hang on a minute, there's loads of people waiting down the side. Well, they're actually waiting for the market. They're queuing people for the market down inside the park as well, it seems. And there's a bigger queue for the market than there is to go on Odyssey. So yeah, I've just had a ride on there. Tell you what, it was a bit rough though. Going down that drop and up into the first loop, you can really just feel it. At that last corkscrew as well before the brake run, the train was just shaking side to side. But it's always great to get back on it. Of course, it used to be really unreliable. Then of course this park got bought by Mellors Group, a showman, and they really know how to run this park now. So you can come here and you know pretty much, as long as the wind's not too high, you're going to get your ride on the Odyssey. Whereas before, even on a nice day like today, you'd find the Odyssey was closed. But rides are certainly a lot more reliable over the past few years here than what they used to be. But yeah, great to get on there. Going to make my way towards the Millennium Coaster now, the smoothest Vekoma in the world. And even though it's called the Millennium Coaster, it doesn't open in the year 2000. It opened in 1999. So make my way around there and let's see what they've done. But yeah, in terms of the changes to split off the rides with the market, it's crazy. I mean, normally you walk all around this area, you'd be able to just swap between the amusement park and the market. But as you can see, they put all the fencing up just around the side here and really separated it off. So yeah, they've done a really good job in terms of the operational changes here, in terms of what they've had to do to split it all off and maintain the social distancing. They've really tried the best in terms of putting all this fencing in down here. Some of the market stalls are closed down this section, what would normally be open, because of course they've sort of made this a walkway round to the theme park. So yeah, they've done a really good job from what I can see so far. Let's head into the pyramid and go towards the Millennium Coaster. Oh, it's always great to get back into the pyramid here at Fantasy Island. Absolutely love this area, certainly my favourite part of the park. All the theming and lighting effects in here, of course the projections up the top there as well, all really make it. It's fantastic theming in here. We've actually got a one-way system in operation, as you can see with the markings down here on the floor. So yeah, with it being quite an enclosed space, I can see why they've done that, just to make sure people walking around in a circular direction kind of works a lot better for them really, with some of the pathways being small. As you can see, they've shut off this entrance to the arcade. I imagine that's got a completely separate entrance somewhere else as well. And yeah, I'm really impressed with what they've done, you know, in terms of the markers and everything. Really, really nice and clear. It was the same over on the Odyssey. And let's go and see what it's like on the Millennium. The entrance is just down here. Right then, so here's a look at the snazzy entrance for the Millennium Coaster. As you can see, they've got signage here about social distancing, saying you'll be asked to leave the resort if you're not following it. Here we can see some of the protective screens and also some hand sanitizer as well. So I'm going to put some on before we head up to the station. So because Charlotte's not here today, I'll do her job for her. She normally reviews the hand sanitizer. Feels quite good quality actually, premium hand sanitizer. So let's make our way around this way, up into the station, and I'll put in some off-ride footage of the Millennium Coaster. It's always great to get back on the Millennium Coaster here at Fantasy Island. Certainly a firm favourite of mine at this park. It's just so smooth and comfortable and really enjoyable, but it's also got some great force to it as well throughout 3 different inversions. I really like the helix at the end of the ride, and of course it's got a great start to it as well with a brilliant curved first drop down into that first loop. brilliant ride, and it was great to get on there. Just wanted to talk a minute about the loading procedures here. Over on the Odyssey, they were filling up every single row, of course, because the seats are quite far apart, whereas on the Millennium Coaster, with the seats being very close to each other, it was just one party per car. So obviously there's 4 seats per car on that, so it was missing a row basically in between parties. So anyway, I'm going to do a couple of rides here in the Pyramid now. I must say, it's actually really quiet in the theme park side of Fantasy Island. Over in the market side, really busy. They're queuing loads to get in, but I've just seen there's another entrance actually into the amusement area, just down by the volcano, so we'll check that out later. But yeah, down at that entrance there for the actual amusement park, there's nobody waiting to come in, whereas the queue for the market is massive. So quite interesting just to see, because obviously it's never really operated like this here before. They've had to do it to be able to open, to follow the government guidelines. But yeah, it's just really interesting to see who's here for what, because normally you get a mix of people just walking around between the two. So should we go around the new Toucan Tours, the little monorail? Why not? And I can take you on board on this one. So they're completely redone up the entrance here for Toucan Tours. Looks fantastic. You've got the flickering torches there as well, and a spinning welcome sign there on the ground as well. That's quite cool, isn't it? Let's make our way in this way. Bit of a jungle theme going on, of course, to fit with Fantasy Island. Nice big signs for social distancing. And we go through the trees and up this way to Toucan Tours. Here we go then, so we're on Toucan Tours. So of course all the major rides are open here today, but there is still a few things that are closed in terms of social distancing. One of those is the high ropes course, just here to the left hand side. Completely understandable. I mean, you normally have to put on all sorts of harnesses and equipment. Staff have to make sure that it's all on correctly, so yeah, it's understandable why that's closed. I think the lady at the entrance said the mini Dodgems was closed as well today. So yeah, other than that, everything else is open, which is really good. It's just some of them bits that, of course, are closed due to the social distancing measures. Such a really nice ambience in here with the soundtrack in the background, all the rock work and decoration, and the lighting. For anybody who doesn't know, and of course doesn't really know the history of this park, the pyramid used to be open at the top just there, and then they completely blacked it out, so it was dark in here all the time, so they could have the atmospheric lighting. And it's so much nicer now.
This way for the secret of Fantasy Island.
I've always loved that since I was a kid. Seems like we've got a nice bit of atmospheric fog in here now as well, which is nice, adds to the theming. Quite a few different updates in here, it seems, in terms of theming and lighting, which is good. Here we go, a completely different ending now as well. Some more ride footage there from Toucan Tours, the little monorail ride that they've got with that fantastic dark ride section. And as I mentioned there on ride, some changes with some of the theming and audio in there, and yeah, I really like it. There's one thing I do miss though, and that's the song that played right at the end before. It was like the Secrets of Fantasy Island song, and yeah, that's gone from there now, which is a shame. Just part of my childhood, you know, something that I remember. But these parts have got to evolve, they've got to change, and in general I think the upgrades are quite nice, what they've done in there. Anyway, it's time for another one of my favourites now here at Fantasy Island. Another ride I can take you on, another dark ride here at the park, and that's the magical Seaquarium. And looks like this has also had some updates done here at the entrance. Let's have a little look at this. I'll spin you around. we go. So of course you've got the sign at the top. We'll put some new palm trees and stuff in. We've also got the spinning light down the bottom here as well. Let's go on. Here we go then, on board the magical Seaquarium. In terms of the social distancing measures on here, of course it's one group per boat like it is normally. However, they're actually missing boats as well, because sometimes they clog up depending on how many people are in each boat due to the weight. It's like, so the group are in front, aren't in the boat that's directly there, they're on the boat just in front of that one. So just in case the boats get too close to each other. So a bit like this actually. So there you go. Of course, if there was people in that one, then yeah, it wouldn't be a meter's distance like it is now here in the UK. So here we go. Love all the projections up there on the mountain. It is fantastic. You know me, I absolutely love the soundtrack on here. It certainly makes it. Such an addictive track. You know you want to join in. I must say, it's looking in a bit of a sorry state in here. Some of the lights and effects aren't working. I mean, you normally got the lights that move along just here. But with it being Fantasy Island and with them doing a lot of refurbishments over the past few years, and of course Toucan Tours has had that update, maybe we might be seeing some upgrades coming soon to this. I really hope so. I think it really needs it. As much as I love the retro and classic feel of the magical Seaquarium, and it brings back so many childhood memories for me, it really does need a bit of an update, especially that first section of the ride. The second part isn't too bad in terms of the sound system. All the speakers are clearly working there, and as much as some of the animatronics and moving figures aren't working at their best, it's in a better state than the first part of the ride. So I'd love to see them do a bit of a refresh, a bit like they have done really with Toucan Tours. I mean, since the Mellors group took ownership of Fantasy Island quite a few years back now, they've been going around making updates. I think it's time for the magical Seaquarium to have one of those updates. However, I really hope they keep the soundtrack, or at least maybe a more modernised version of it. Love the soundtrack, very addictive, gets everybody singing along as well. So anyway, they're not the only couple of rides what you've got here in the pyramid. Along with that, you've got Dragon Mountain Descent, which is up at the top just here. That's also closed actually due to social distancing. Didn't realise that was closed, but it is. Yeah, that's the dinghy slide that you can see just above me here. Along with that, you've got the mini golf here. That's also included if you buy one of the wristbands here, which is good. And there's a few other rides as well around in this section, and they normally have entertainment in here as well. Obviously not at the moment because of COVID-19 and the social distancing measures that they need to put into place. But yeah, you know, you normally have some entertainment and characters about in here as well. So anyway, next up, going to go on the little balloon ride, which is just off to the side here. We get some nice aerial views of this part of the park. It's the pyramid. Ride here in the pyramid. Tell you what though, this guy's new over here. Look at this. Got a little animatronic up at the top. Or should I say quite a big animatronic. Here we go. It's a wizard. Is it Merlin?
Enjoy your day. And thank you for watching our show.
Oh, there we go, he's going off. I quite like that though, that's quite nice. I mean, when I was on there just, oh, lights on. When I was on there just, I noticed how there was all snow flickering down from the snow machine. So maybe he was doing like a magical snow show, pointing his magic wand over towards the snow machines and all the lighting effects. But it's quite nice, isn't it? There you go, and all the lights are now back on. This is normally the main reception desk where you'd pick up all your different wristbands and buy ride tickets. Very weird seeing it empty. Of course, it's all done outside around the perimeter of Fantasy Island now because of social distancing. Yeah, just thought I'd show you that area. And we've got these two fellas here as well. Never seen these before. Wonder if they do a show sometimes. I mean, they're not on at the moment, as we can see. And there's no like button or can't see any sensors or anything like that. So maybe they go off every so often, or maybe they've got them turned off at the moment so people aren't really gathering all around here. So imagine if they were singing, dancing, doing whatever they do, playing the guitar, there'd probably be quite a crowd of people stood around here. So yeah, hopefully it looks like we might be getting a bit of a welcome when you're waiting to get your wristbands at some point in the future. Anyway, I've had a good look around here in the pyramid. Let's head outside now, here at Fantasy Island. So this really does give you a good idea on just how quiet it is today here at Fantasy Island, or at least in the amusement park anyway. Normally this area would be full of people around here. As you can see, pretty quiet compared to what it normally would be on a hot summer's day. In terms of the updates out here then, seems like the log flume's been repainted, which is good to see. They've actually painted all the trough green around here, put all the leaves and different effects on there. I think that looks really good actually with what they've done with the painting. They've also made the station a little bit more colourful as well, put a bit of extended queue line in down the side there, and yeah, that certainly looks a lot better. So go around this way, we'll see that a little bit better in terms of what they've done with the painting. But good to see, they're always doing refurbishments here, which is great. So not only have they painted the trough and the station on the log flume, they've also painted the boats up as well. They were just brown before, pretty standard really for a log flume, but now the blue and green, with a little bit of purple on there as well. So yeah, I think there's a bit of a different colour scheme going on with all the different boats. I'm really liking that, it certainly freshens it up and looks a lot brighter. Anyway, going to go for a ride on Rhombus Rocket now, which is the powered coaster we can see just here. So I'll put in a bit of off-ride footage. It's an absolutely gorgeous day for riding roller coasters today here at Fantasy Island. The weather is absolutely beautiful. When you're going round on the ride, 2 lap special just on Rhombus Rocket, all the breeze going into your face whilst you're going round. Honestly, I live for these summer days at amusement parks. They're absolutely brilliant. And the atmosphere is really nice here. As much as it's a limited crowd, limited capacity, still got a really nice atmosphere around the park, which is great. Yeah, Rhombus Rocket is brilliant. Like I say, it goes around twice, social distancing, they're missing a row. in between parties on there. And yeah, wait about 5 minutes to get on, so not bad at all. But yeah, it's a really quite powerful attraction that, in terms of when you're going around some of the dips and turns. With it being a powered coaster, it means they can completely control the speed on there. It's not powered by gravity, so there's some points where it's really intense and it speeds up, and there's other moments where you get a bit of hang time, believe it or not. I know it's only a family powered coaster, but you go down this drop and they really slow you down, so you just sort of lean forward into the restraint. Yeah, absolutely brilliant to get back on there. Also, I just had a ride on the Twister as well, just behind me. I'm now going to talk about some of the newer additions and changes here for this year. So as we can see, you've got the Jets ride just behind me here. That's been repainted and looks really, really fresh actually, which is certainly good to see. And we'll carry on walking around this way and have a look at some of the newer additions here at Fantasy Island. The Dodgems, such an amusement park classic, aren't they? And they've got various different rides and attractions available here at Fantasy Island. It's not just the big signature rides that they've got like the Dodgems, like I say, just done the Twister, a few other kids rides here as well. And yeah, just thought I'd show you now here some more of the fencing. Like I say, this area here, we'd normally be able to walk straight into the market, but as you can see, they've blocked it all off, just so they can limit exactly how many people are in the amusement park and also in the market. But got a couple of rides to go on here. We've got the Magic that I'm going to go on, and also another new ride for this year. It's not got a rooftop on it yet, but let's go and give this a go. It's like a little spinning pot ride. As you can see, you sit in the middle just there. I imagine a roof is on the way for this one, but yeah, let's go and have a ride on here. On the new attraction for this year, Firewall, and also Magic as well. In terms of Firewall, just a spinning cup ride really, with a bit of theming on there, and hopefully it'll get a roof soon. But yeah, it was quite easy to spin, and yeah, you can soon get it going, and quite a long cycle on there as well. And then also, like I say, I've just done Magic. You can see another cycle going just behind me there, and yeah, great to get back on there. Not one of my favourite versions of that ride. I've been on ones that are operated a lot better, but it's still good to have one here at Fantasy Island. I tell you what though, I can't help but walk down this end of the park and still miss the Mondial top scan that they used to have, called the Beast. For me, that was one of my favourite rides here, and it's still such a shame that it's not here anymore. Of course, the park's got to keep evolving and bringing in new rides, but I can't help but walk down this part of the park and miss the Beast that used to sit just down here. But anyway, going to do a couple more rides now. Got the spinning boats just down here, and also going to have a ride on Volcano, the S&S shot tower. So again, I'll put in some more off-ride footage. Tell you what, it's absolutely gorgeous today. What a day to come. As you saw there, some more off-ride footage from some of the rides out the front section of Fantasy Island. Went on the boats, went on Volcano, and also on Techno Jump as well. One of my firm favourites. I've always enjoyed those. Anyway, I'm coming for a little look now around the market. Like I said back at the start of the video, they've completely separated it off. So you've got the amusement park that's separate, and then the market. So you've got to have a temperature check, which I've just had to come and walk around here. And I started to show you some of the operations. So they've got a one-way operation throughout the market at the moment. It's also great to come down here if you like your coasters, because you get some awesome views of the Odyssey and also Millennium as well. So it's definitely worth walking down here, including a bit of a unique view. So where we're standing now is in an area what they've actually opened up just so they can still do the one-way loop around the market. And normally you don't quite get this close and this angle to the Odyssey. So it's certainly worth coming down here and to get some shots of the coasters in action. But tell you what, they've done a really good job in terms of making it a one-way walk round. I'll show you one of the sort of streets in the market area in just a moment. As you can see, they put all the wooden fencing up and panels down just to make it look tidy. And like I say, normally you wouldn't be able to walk through this area. So I'll just show you a little bit of around by the market before I head back round and do some more of the rides, including Ice Mountain and another new addition here at Fantasy Island for 2020. So as you can see, the signage is nice and clear down here in the market, and there's a great setup. All these different stalls open around here, and you can normally get some really good bargains actually as well. But yeah, just thought I'd show you the signage. As you can see, just carry on shopping, or for the beach bar you can turn left, just so they can keep that one-way system in operation like we can see just here. But we'll carry on down this way. We're going to have a look towards the beach bar and see the beach underneath the Odyssey. A little look at the operations there of the Fantasy Island market, and like I say, I feel like they've done a good job. They've even got hanging signs about social distancing all the way round, so that's quite a nice idea as well. And people seem to be sticking to the one-way round, which is good to see. In general, quite impressed with the social distancing measures, what they've put into place at Fantasy Island, both in the amusement park and the market. It's quite weird treating them as separate things, because of course it's always been the fact that they've been combined together. You can walk between the two, but of course they've had to do it because of social distancing, and I think they've done it really well. I think they've done a really nice job. All the fencing and everything doesn't look too bad at all, because they haven't used Harris fencing and they put proper wooden fence panels up. It's made it loads better. Anyway, down here on the beach area now, of course you've got a beach bar down here, lots of other food outlets. You get some great views of the coasters. I mean, look at Odyssey there behind me. Along with that as well, you see Millennium, and yeah, it's a really nice sort of place to chill out here on the beach. I think the reason they put this in was the idea is to try and attract people to stay here instead of going to the actual beach, which is only a 5-minute walk over in that direction. But anyway, still got a few more rides to go on here today at Fantasy Island. Still got loads of ride time left. It's that quiet today. Still got over 3 hours of ride time, so I'll be doing some re-rides on some of my favourites. But first up, going to head over and check out the new attraction here for this year. They've actually now got a Star Flyer. So as much as it's not a brand new ride, it's the first time it's been here at Fantasy Island. And the Star Flyer, of course, is owned by Mellors, the company that now own Fantasy Island, but they also travel it around as well. Actually, this version of the Star Flyer, this exact one, goes to Hyde Park Winter Wonderland normally down in London, along with Ice Mountain, the ride that's next to it. So I'm going to go and do them couple of rides next before doing some more re-rides here at Fantasy Island. But yeah, it's very quiet. It's a shame to see actually on such a really nice sunny day. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a shame to see it so quiet really, but hopefully people will come down, support the park. All these parks really need our support at the moment, and that's what we're trying our best to do here at Theme Park Worldwide. Get out there and support your parks. Right then, back into the amusement park then now. I left the market through the exit, walked back around the car park, had my temperature checked again, and now I'm back here in the amusement park. So as you can see, they've completely changed the layouts here in terms of rides. Ice Mountain first appeared here at Fantasy Island last year. Like I say, all this facade was actually built by Mellors, so it could appear, of course, down at Hyde Park Winter Wonderland. We still don't know what's going to be happening in terms of Winter Wonderland this year. They haven't really said anything yet. It normally starts in November, so I'm unsure about that. But of course, with the park being owned by Mellors here, Ice Mountain now makes an appearance. And of course, last year that started to come down towards the end of the season, and then of course it made its way down to London. But all this facade's really nice around here. The thing is for me with this part of the park, it's all built on the car park, so it'd be really nice if they plan on putting more rides on here in the future on this section, if they just put a really nice bit of flooring down just to make it fit in a little bit. Because, you know, my issue is you've got all the pyramid area that looks lovely, the front of the park, the refurbishing rides, and out the back here, it just doesn't really feel like it's part of Fantasy Island. So I'd really like to see them start to refurbish this and make it a bit more permanent. Even if the rides are moving about and changing, just some proper flooring down here would be really nice. And then this year, for the first time, they've got the Star Flyer. As we can see, this is absolutely huge, so we're going to get some great views. Shame we can't take you on with the GoPro today, really. But like I say, it's completely understandable. The staff are all very, very busy. They haven't got time to really be thinking about people who want to film on rides and stuff at the moment, which is understandable. But yeah, we're going to get some great views. So I'm going to start off with the Star Flyer and then have a ride on Ice Mountain here at Fantasy Island. My rides on the Star Flyer and also Ice Mountain. In terms of the Star Flyer, the views were absolutely fantastic from up there. It really makes you realise just how many caravans there is around this area. I mean, you see that when you're on the Millennium and Odyssey, but when you're up there on that Star Flyer, you really just get a good perspective on just how much of a tourist destination this really is around here. So much accommodation, and of course it's a fantastic place to come on holiday. Fantasy Island, you can go down into Skegness itself, it's only a few miles away, and you can do Skegness Pleasure Beach, which is actually where I'm going to be tomorrow, filming a vlog from there and a little look around Skegness. So stay tuned for that here on Theme Park Worldwide. I then went on to Ice Mountain. There was a little bit of a technical issue, so I had to wait for a little bit, but got on after about 15 minutes. And yeah, still got all the lighting effects in there, a little bit of smoke, and yeah, it's an enjoyable ride. It's certainly good to get back on Ice Mountain here at Fantasy Island and not have to pay for it down at Winter Wonderland. I think that's the thing for me. When I go down to Winter Wonderland, I don't want to pay for the Star Flyer or for Ice Mountain. So I know that, of course, they're going to come here to Fantasy Island, and I imagine with the Star Flyer, if it's popular for them here, and they'll keep bringing it back here every year, I'd imagine. But yeah, it's certainly been a really good day. Time for a few more rides. There's just over an hour to go till the end of the day, so I'm going to do a few more rides here at Fantasy Island, so I'll put in a little bit more off-ride footage before I wrap up the vlog. But I tell you what, it's absolutely roasting here today. It's been lovely weather, pretty light crowds as well, meaning that I've managed to do quite a lot of rides and see all the park. But it's just really sad seeing it so quiet. I mean, look at the paths around here. You know, it's normally thriving, and yeah, you know, I know that they can't really do anything about that at the moment because of COVID-19 and the social distancing. But yeah, this amusement park really does rely on the crowds to give it an atmosphere. And don't get me wrong, still got a nice feel to it today, but you know, there is certain parts of the park where it's just missing that normal atmosphere that it would have when you've been going to a theme park, and they've still got the atmosphere, you know, in terms of the themed audio and that sort of thing. Whereas here, an amusement park kind of relies on the people to make it, if you see where I'm coming from. And obviously that can't happen at the moment. But you know, it's not the park's fault, it's just the way it is at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to do a few more rides, put in a bit more off-ride footage, and then I'll wrap up today's vlog here from Fantasy Island in Ingoldmells, Skegness. So there we go, it's come to the end of my visit here to Fantasy Island. Just done a few more re-rides, went on the Odyssey again, and I tell you what, it's pretty much unbearable today. It's really, really rough. I think the heat is really impacting the track and the wheels on there. I tell you what, it was ridiculously rough. Normally I'd do 3, maybe 4 rides on it, but yeah, because it's not got much of a weight at all. But yeah, you know, I've just done the 2 rides on it today. Had 4 laps around on Millennium, did Rhombus Rocket again, and a few other bits as well. So I've done quite a lot of rides here. I paid £25 for a wristband today, and I'd say I've certainly got my money's worth here at Fantasy Island. In terms of the social distancing measures here today, I think the park have done all they can do really. It's quite tough for them with them being an amusement park, with a market as well. I think the fact how they've separated the 2 off has worked really well actually, to be honest. I didn't really know how it was going to be prior to coming here today, but seeing all the fences and signage, they've done a really good job with that. And then in general, the park and the masks and the operations has been pretty good really. Unfortunately, there's been quite a lot of guests here today who haven't been following the social distancing rules, but that's been the case at quite a lot of theme parks we've been to. These parks can do so much, but it really needs everybody who's coming to these parks to follow all of the different rules. But I thought, what a nice place to wrap up the vlog in my nice Fantasy Island branded deck chair. I tell you what, it's been absolutely gorgeous weather here today. Great to get back on loads of different rides here at the park, and I've certainly enjoyed it. Shame we weren't able to get any on-ride footage today from the bigger rides here using the chest-mounted GoPro, but completely understandable. The normal place where we get the GoPro checked off is all closed up, that reception area. Oh, by the way, I put in a little shot just of the bears as well that they were on. The audio was a bit quiet, but the bears were on, which is quite a nice little thing, what they've got in there, the little animatronics. But yeah, you know, hopefully next time we come we'll be able to get some more on-ride footage. Probably 2021 now before we're next down here. The plan is to get around as many different theme parks as we can do. Give them our support here at Theme Park Worldwide. These parks really need as much love and support as possible, and we're going to try our best to do that and visit some of the smaller attractions, as you're going to see over the next sort of month and a half. Really going to focus on that over the rest of the summer, going to some of these other different parks. So thank you very much for joining me for another vlog here on Theme Park Worldwide. Tomorrow's vlog I'll be at Skegness. I'm going to the Pleasure Beach down there, and also going to be checking out some of the other attractions as well. So stay tuned for that here on Theme Park Worldwide. From Ingoldmells and Fantasy Island, that means it's time to cue those credits. Thanks for watching.